So news broke last week that Bronny James is entering his name in both the NBA draft and the transfer portal. On Sunday, he posted a graphic of him and LeBron as teammates for the Lakers. So, Dad, do you think the Lakers should or will draft Bronny in this upcoming NBA draft?
I think they should, number one. And I think they most likely would because, I mean, he wants to play with his son. And if he goes to the NBA draft, what you going to do? You going to tell LeBron no? I mean, they burn picks on dudes all day long that never even come over from overseas.
Right.
So they waste second round picks like it's nothing. And if he's not a first round talent and he wants to play with his father, then yeah, go ahead and do it. Why not? You know me, I'm all you behind the camera. So what
do you
that
think
tell
he's
you?
Physically ready for the NBA?
I don't give a damn. You behind the camera. So what does that tell you? I'm gonna do whatever I can for my son. Period. Nepotism is live and well.
Yeah.
And in the NBA circles, he's ready for what level in the NBA though? Are we asking him? Look, he's never gonna be a star. He's gonna be a role player. That's what he's gonna be. Okay.
You said never.
If you're trying to compare him to his father,
no, not that. That's. But see, that's LeBron James, but he'll never be like a.
When you're talking about star players, you're talking about perennial all-stars, right? Yeah. You're talking about Steph Curry. You're talking about Devin Booker, KD, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Ant-Man. Like, you're talking about at a different level.
Jalen Brunson in him?
Well, Jalen Brunson is a scoring machine.
Yeah.
He's not a scorer. That's the difference. He would most likely be a defender, has a nice body, is obviously going to get stronger, bigger. He's got long arms. He could jump. He has some athletic ability. When you're looking at defensive players, lateral movement, side to side, can he defend the Ant-Mans of the world and the Devin Bookers of the world? That's what we're going to get him for.
Yeah, that's what we're paying him to do.
That's what we're paying him to do. We're not paying him to fill it up. The old Jalen Brunson is paid to fill it up. Yeah. He ain't paid to defend.
Yeah.
So there's a different type of guard there.
Yeah, and Jalen Brunson's winning national titles in college and leading the tournament and scoring and stuff. So it's a different level, 1,000%. And Jalen Brunson's a little older coming out. But I mean, from a business standpoint, you have to draft him.
Man, I'm drafting him.
Are you drafting with your first round pick?
Well, I ain't say all that, but I'm just I'm saying
what if someone else is like, hey,
but that's not gonna happen.
Bro,
I don't think
if I'm drafted by anyone
if you have the 25th overall pick, I don't think if Bron's coming.
Well, see, now you saying something that the Lakers can do. What? The Lakers ain't trying to lose LeBron.
Right.
So we gonna sign him. We gonna draft him. But if you telling me that, okay, so let's play it this way. LeBron James tells them, I want my son to be drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
And the Lakers balk on it. Let's say they balk.
Yeah, they balk on it, yeah.
And if I'm LeBron, deuces. I'm gone. I'm getting ready to go to Dallas. And I'm going to hook up with Luka and Kyrie, and I'm going to Dallas for the next 3 years and my son coming. That's the way I would play it.
Yeah.
That's the way I would play it. But I don't think he would give them that ultimatum to take him in the first round. And the reason other teams aren't going to take him in the first round is because everybody knows the desire for him to play with his son.
Yeah.
And so when you messing around with Clutch, which is represented by him, which he's part owner in, Rich Paul and a whole slew of NBA guys, at the end of the day, you kind of want to just stand pat. Don't get to messing up, talking about I'm going to draft him. Don't do that.
Yeah. And I mean, they could say no too, right? Like, I'm sure LeBron and them would say, we're not going to any team but the Lakers.
But the Lakers or wherever I play.
So how do you feel about NFL players doing that as well?
If you have the power to pull that, then go right ahead.
Did you consider doing that?
I told the New York Jets not to draft me. I told them not to draft me. It's in my book.
So
I told them, don't draft me. If you're going to pay me like I'm the 7th pick of the draft, because they were trying to do a pre-draft deal. Yeah. They want to do it like they just, for some reason, felt that I just had to be in New York. I'm like, no, I go to Jacksonville number 2 and get what I know I'm supposed to get, then go number 1 and have you just completely fuck me over.
Right, so it wasn't slotted money-wise back then. You had to negotiate.
Yeah, you had to negotiate your contract. So they was trying to give me 7th pick money to be the first overall pick. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll go to Jacksonville at 2, and I already know I'm going to Jacksonville. Right. I know for 100% fact I'm going to Jacksonville. We already know. And they wind up drafting me on draft day. I told them don't. But if you have that power man, you flex your muscles all day long because they going to do it to you.
Exactly.
Why you wouldn't do it to them?
100%. Yeah, I agree with that.
Right? I mean, he behind the camera over there.
Exactly.
I ain't shy.
The fourth time.
I ain't shy about it at all. Yeah, for the fourth time, let them know.
So, switching to women's basketball, Caitlin Clark has taken women's basketball to new heights. This season alone, she's rewritten college basketball record books. But Iowa didn't win the national championship. Shout out Don Staley. So I have to ask the question everyone's been debating the past few days. Does Caitlin Clark need a championship to be considered one of the greats?
Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. Championships are team won things. And she took her team and it took them to a potential level to beat a UConn, to beat a LSU. Iowa has no business beating LSU without Caitlin Clark taking them to the level that they even can believe that they can. Mm-hmm. Or to beat a UConn who's more experienced, better roster, probably better coach. And then to beat a South Carolina last year. You know, I think she put so much belief in everyone around her. I mean, I'm watching the game. I know who Stokey is. I'm like, come on, Stokey, run that lane. Like I'm tuned in to them because Caitlin Clark has me watching, and I know their whole roster. Like them girls have roles, and they know their roles, and now they're knocking off some champs, some blue chip programs because she put so much belief in that entire state. You know, so I just think, no, absolutely not. She did everything that was in her power to do, took it as far as she could, and I think she's going down as one of the greatest.
Yeah, if you're saying that she's going to go down if your question is, does she go down as one of the greatest college basketball players? Yes, the statistics would suggest that she goes down as one of the greatest basketball players ever. She went through a gauntlet of Colorados and the LSUs and the UConns just to get knocked off by South Carolina. However, when you start talking about the GOAT, no, she's not the GOAT. She's just not. And that is because she does not have a ring. And when you are a GOAT, you got rings, or at least a ring. No one is having a conversation about somebody being the greatest at that particular sport if they hadn't delivered a championship, although your championships are a team game within the confines of a team, it still doesn't matter. If we're going to consider you the best to ever do it, you got to have a ring, because everybody you would consider, think about Breanna Stewart, I could go on and on, Cheryl Miller. I mean, I could just go on and on about girls or people in general in sports that we consider the GOAT. We don't consider in football Dan Marino the GOAT, because Dan Marino won a championship. We consider Tom Brady the GOAT. We argue Joe Montana's the GOAT because they got championships. We argue that Patrick Mahomes is going to eventually surpass Tom Brady as a GOAT because he will probably win more championships and MVPs. So it's hard to give her that GOAT status of all time, the greatest of all time, and you haven't won a championship. That's going to be a hard one to give.
I mean, I think it's different with college and pro sports. Pro sports, you got a professional roster around you, right? In college, you're not picking your teammates. They're getting recruited from the same state. You know, these guys that have won championships, their team is just so much better than a guy they're playing against, but they might be playing against a guy or a woman or a female girl that Caitlin Clark's the best player in the world, but she don't have the best team, right? Yeah, and it's not like you're saying, oh, well, these guys that we consider the GOAT in football and Mahomes or Brady and this and Dan Marino didn't do it. Like, these guys have paid rosters to do that. They stick together. They stick in an organization for 10 years. She got 4 years to come in. Hope she got a good freshman class with her, right? You don't know who the seniors were that are with her. You can go get a ring in college with a loaded senior class.
Yeah, but right? You're not going to be considered 2 years on a 2-year run at the level that Logan has been on. No one is going to say, they're going to say she's one of the greatest players of all time. But when you're talking about the GOAT, Diana Taurasi, I believe, has 3 or 4.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just hard.
Yeah, I mean, this UConn team, men just went back-to-back. I can't tell you who a guy on their roster they might have 4 when they're done, but that don't mean
they will never go down as the greatest UConn. I mean, go down as the greatest basketball program in college history. They will. I had this conversation earlier. Do you know what the 1990 UNLV Running Rebels They wiped the floor with that team last night.
Yeah.
With Stacey Augmon and Larry Johnson and Greg Anthony and Anderson Hunt and David Butler. Man, they wiped the floor with them. Even the Fab Five that did not win a championship, man, they would run shop on UConn. I could go on and on and on.
Right.
Georgetown, 84, you wasn't even born then. In 84, they had this dude named Michael Graham, Patrick Ewing, Michael Jackson, Reggie Williams, and they went up against Hakeem Olajuwon in a 5-slammer jammer. I sound old, but it's the truth.
He said 5-slammer jammer.
Man,
90s,
no. I could go into the 2000s if you really want me to dive into that. But all I'm saying is,
you got to cap it off with
you
something.
got to cap it off.
I think she's in the Mount Rushmore, obviously. I don't, Cheryl Miller, and I don't know all their numbers to know who
it's a
that
bunch
should
of them,
be,
man. You
right?
got Candace
that's hard
Parker
to do.
and Cheryl Miller
Right.
and Cheryl Swoops. I mean, people be like, nah.
But she's definitely up there, man. She is like, generationally.
Yeah, she ridiculous.
She might be Allen Iverson in her era. She changed the game.
Well, she changed the game for
right. She
sure,
changed
like
the game from a culture of Steph Curry,
just like that.
Right, but people might not put him ahead of Magic because of the rings, but did he not change the game in a way that now look at all these kids, how they play? That's what she did for
Oh,
him.
no, he completely changed the game as how they play. And Steph got, what does Steph have, 4?
4.
Yeah, Magic have 5, I think. 4 or 5. But Magic was a 6'9" point guard. So when he came into the league at 6'9", you never seen a 6'9" dude run the floor like that.
Yeah.
I'm old, so. We absolutely hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more from us, hit that subscribe button for all videos, full episodes, and exclusive content from the show. And don't forget to find All Facts, No Breaks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.